about your question. Does Israel have the right to self-defense? In 2003, one of Israel's leading sociologists at the Hebrew University, his name was Baruch Kimmerling. He's since passed away. He wrote a book called Politicide, and he described Gaza in 2003. I want you to keep in mind the year for what I'm going to say to you in a moment. In 2003, he described Gaza as the largest concentration camp ever. That was a senior sociologist at the Hebrew University, an eminent sociologist. Now, Gaza in 2003 was kind of a dreamland as compared to what it has become, because the blockade of Gaza didn't begin in full force until 2006, when Israel imposed the blockade in retaliation for the parliamentary elections, which former US President Jimmy Carter called fair and free elections, in which the civilian wing of Hamas won the election. So the people of Gaza were punished for participating in democratic elections and electing the wrong party to power from the point of view of the US and Israel. And then the blockade was imposed on Gaza. The blockade was tightened in 2007 when the United States, Israel, and some Palestinian collaborators attempted a coup against the legally elected government of Hamas, and the coup was preempted, it was foiled. So, for the past 15 years, let's see what Gaza looks like. Two facts begin any discussion of Gaza. 70% of Gaza's population are refugees and descendants of refugees. They were the ones who were expelled from Israel in 1947. Number two, one half or more, a little more than half, of Gaza's 2.1 million people are children. They're under the age of 18. So you have an overwhelmingly refugee population. You have an overwhelmingly child population. Now, because of that illegal, immoral, that criminal blockade of Gaza, 80% of the people of Gaza are in humanitarian aid relief, because Israel doesn't let anything in or anything out above the bare minimum to survive. 96% of the water in Gaza, according to the World Health Organization, is unfit for human consumption. Every few years, Israel launches another murderous massacre of Gaza. In 2007 to 2008, it was Operation Cast Lead. In 2012, it was Operation Pillar of Defense. In 2014, it was Operation Protective Edge. Gaza. You know what Gaza is? It's the length of a marathon. It's a little less than a marathon. A marathon in our measurements, it's 26.2 miles. Gaza is 25 miles in length. In width, I'll use the example from my own hometown. It's about a little more than twice the size of Central Park. That's Gaza. That's Gaza. The length of a marathon, the width, about twice the length of Central Park. That's Gaza. That tiny sliver of land that these heartless, murderous hordes, these Mongol hordes, have been suffocating since 2006, leaving aside all the atrocities it committed in Gaza before 2006. That's a whole other story. Just to take one of the massacres it committed during the Israeli-British-French invasion of Egypt in 1956. Pick up this comic book, a sophisticated comic book, a very sophisticated comic book by Joe Sacco, S-A-C-C-O, to read about the stories of the massacres in Gaza in 1956. They lined up several hundred Palestinians in Gaza and shot them dead. That's right. They lined them up and shot them dead. That's already ancient history. And then you ask yourself a simple question. According to Human Rights Watch in its recent report called The Threshold Crossed, it said that Israel is committing, I'm using their language, crimes against humanity in Gaza. Listen to the terminology, crimes against humanity. That's at a higher level than war crimes under international law. As Human Rights Watch says, crimes against humanity are quote among the most odious crimes, O-D-I-O-U-S, among the most odious crimes in international law. So now you ask yourself a simple question. It is so simple that maybe even some people in university professorships could understand it. It's that simple. Ask yourself the question, Do concentration camp guards have the right to self-defense? Do concentration camp guards have the right to self-defense?
Dr. Norman, if I could just like...
Baruch Kimmerling called Gaza a concentration camp where I say it was like a paradise. That's out. So the question is so stupid. It's beyond words. There are 1 million and more children who are trapped in Gaza. 1 million or more children trapped in Gaza, daily consuming water that is unfit for human consumption. And you're asking me whether the power, the concentration camp guards and their seniors, whether they have the right to self-defense. In the real world, it's such an insane question. I don't even understand how sophisticated, serious human rights organizations like Human Rights Watch, Amnesty, how they can use terminology like that. I know some of these people. I respect some of these people. But to me, it's kind of mind-boggling. I assume they're parents. They have children. They know that more than half the population of Gaza is children. How can you possibly believe a state that's trapping 1 million children in a concentration camp can have a right to self-defense? To me, that is so lunatic.